You're listening to the Inland Talk Express, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, KCAA Loma Linda.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I am your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And I'm Kenneth Kerrigan.
Yes, and happy Father's Day to everyone out there, all the dads and all the moms that are playing the same role. It is a beautiful Sunday. I'm loving the weather, so I can't wait to start talking about our dads. And even we all have dads in our lives, Kyle has Ken has even his dad, and we're gonna be breaking down our love out here, so I'm super excited about it. So if anyone wants to call in and say Happy Father's Day to their dad,
Yeah.
Kyle, what's the number?
It is 888-909-1050. That is 888-909-1050.
Yeah, you can guys call that number and just give a quick shout out to your dad. Say I love you, Happy Father's Day. Say a little message, or if you just want to yell at him over the phone, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Whatever works, right?
Whatever.
All right, so let's get straight into it. Kyle is in the studio. Joe is our board op. We want to thank you and Happy Father's Day to him too, and obviously Ken here. My dad is not going to be on the air tonight.
Oh man.
He works graveyard and he lives in Michigan, so I sent him a little Happy Father's Day. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to bed. Call me at like 11:30. I'm like, jeez. I'm gonna be up for a long time by the end of the night, so
Yeah.
probably until the birds start chirping and the sun starts, shining. So, how's your guys' Sunday so far?
It's good.
It was good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out to Mill Creek for the buffet.
Father's Day buffet.
Yeah, Mill Creek's over in Mentone, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
For all those people who don't know what Mill Creek is, what is it?
It's a steakhouse.
Yeah.
It's a very old Western style. It has a very good environment. The vibe's pretty good.
So, isn't the back room used to be like an airplane hangar, right? Is
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
They turned it to, they have bands there on the weekend.
Yeah, it's called Diamond Jim's Opera House.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And they also do karaoke as well, right?
They do karaoke.
Yes.
I don't know what days though.
I don't know either. I was gonna say, I think it's Thursday, but I don't want to be wrong. My
Yeah.
mom wants me to go, and they have a huge stage.
Yes.
Stage is huge.
I am not gonna do karaoke on a stage, bro. Like when Kyle and I do karaoke, it's usually like on the floor. People are occupied, and we can just like sing and do our thing. But like
Yeah.
when you on stage and
Everyone's
everyone's just like
watching you.
present, they're just watching you. Oh man, and I'm sure a lot of those people who do go up there and sing probably have some good voices. So
Yeah, that's not me.
it's
I
not
just do it
for
for
me.
free.
I'm more of those dive bar karaoke guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So
It's more fun that way.
yeah. So it's kind of like tradition for you guys to go to Mill Creek on Father's Day, right?
Yeah. Father's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter,
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah, the St. Patrick's Day.
whatever holiday.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the owners or
I
Yeah.
know 'em.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Is it because you guys come in so often, or do you guys have like a history, or how's that?
He has a history.
I have a history with that bar dating back before it was Mill Creek. I lived across the street. It used to be called Ding-a-Ling Dave's Bar.
Yeah.
Ding-a-ling Dave's
Dave.
Bar.
Dave's.
He was an old grouchy man,
Right. Yeah. I can't say what I want to say over the air,
Yeah.
but I know all our listeners, they know what's up.
Been there a long time.
Yeah. So who owns it now?
It's an old guy with his two sisters.
Oh, okay.
The old guy doesn't do much. Excuse me, I should have brought my speaking belt tonight. I'm doing a lot of talking. He's an alcoholic. So by the end of the night, he's pretty much wasted.
He's trashed.
Yeah, he's trashed. And he's picking up
Yeah.
all the old bar flies, if we could say that.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you.
Yep. Yep, that's what he does. I guess he does the money, and the two sisters run it
Yeah.
because he doesn't do much. He just sits there and drinks.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
I like him. He says hi to everybody.
yeah.
He'll shake your hand if you walk up.
I guess Mark had a hard time with it, though.
Oh.
Really?
Can you say that?
Is that why he says he
Yeah.
doesn't want to?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but the two
Little
sisters.
inside story, but anyways.
Yeah. I forgot their names, but they're pretty sweet too. A couple of
Yeah.
them go behind the bar too. They always take care of you.
Yeah.
This
How-
bar is just customer service, like 100%. As
How
soon as
lo-
you walk in, they make you feel welcome.
How often do the owners like walk in there, or you know?
Oh, the two ladies work. They work there.
All
Oh,
three
they
of them are
work
there
there.
every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
Every day. From the two, they're old too. They've got to be in their 70s, and they wait tables and everything. Oh, they're working owners. Yeah.
I wonder why that is. You know, some people they manage and own businesses and they run it differently. They operate
Yeah.
it differently.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably like the best idea because they're in their 70s. But I guess if they don't want to retire, then that's fine too. You
Yeah.
know?
They love it.
They love it.
They love the customers.
There's like a good like dynamic.
Yeah.
Like everyone who's worked there been there for years, so they kind of like do everything.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of does everything.
Okay. And how long have you guys been going to Mill Creek?
I've been going my whole life.
Yeah, I've been going since they've been open. Like I said, even before.
Before those days,
yeah,
dang-a-lang?
before, yeah.
Hey,
So
that's
I've been
pretty
going
cool.
from day one. So
Nice.
because they have good lunch specials, you know, for between $5 and $7, you can get a nice lunch.
Really?
So
Yeah, like every day is something different. Like
Yeah.
like Wednesdays are like what? Spaghetti and lasagna.
all you can eat spaghetti on Wednesdays.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it meaty spaghetti or is it just
Oh,
like
no.
sauce?
No, 2 big meatballs too.
2 big meatballs. Italian, huh?
Yeah.
Just the way I like it. On Sundays they have bottomless mimosas, right? Or $5
Something
bottles?
like that.
Something like that. I
Something
don't
like
drink,
that.
so I don't know. But they had champagne today. $5 bottles of champagne. Everybody was.
Is it some brute or what? What kind of champagne?
Yeah.
Y'all know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Every time I go out and do like bottomless mimosas and stuff. Hey, if you guys have any stories about bottomless mimosas, please just chime in, call in, do something because I know that it always makes for a great story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the only time it's expensive is on Friday nights. They have prime rib, which is still a good deal. They give you a big cut of prime rib for 21,
Okay, that's
But
not bad.
That's good.
but it's a good price.
Yeah, like I told you guys before the show, I barbecued at Mark's house and I got jalapeno poppers, 2 gourmet patties, and a ribeye steak for like $19 at Stater Brothers. So that's what we did,
Yeah.
and then we went to go watch the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie as well. So
Yeah. How'd you like it?
you know what? So I saw the first one. I saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, good storyline. I didn't really see the second one.
Oh, okay.
And so Mark, he's never seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxies. And I was like, I feel like you have to watch the first 2 before you watch the third one. But when I
Yeah.
watched the trailer, it was when like Rocket, which is like the raccoon, who was like when he's a little kid. So I was like, oh, it's probably like a prequel. So like maybe you can watch this one and still understand the storyline.
Oh, yeah.
And so
No,
we went
like,
out
they're all
there.
flashbacks. Yeah.
And it was like the first 20 minutes, I was sitting there thinking about Mark. I'm like, oh, dude, he probably has no idea what's going on.
It's
You
fun.
know?
Yeah.
But after watching the movie, you said it was a little, would you call it a tear teaser or what did you
Yeah,
say?
tearjerker for sure.
Tear jerker, yeah. There's a couple
It's,
times where I was just like, you know, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but it was a good message at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, good movie. I'm always excited to see the new movies that are coming out when like they show the little trailers.
Yeah.
There's one where there's a movie about, you know, the nuclear
Oh,
bomb,
yeah.
like building it and stuff.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good because I'm
Yeah.
always interested into like with history and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
me too.
So,
Oppenheimer? Yeah.
yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, I need to get myself an Infinity Pass like you guys are talking about. Oh man, hey,
Yeah.
spread the love. Tell them what a Infinity Pass is.
If you go to look for $1.99 for the rest of the year, you see one free movie a day. Even if that
For
movie
free.
came out that day for free. One free movie for free every day.
And you pay $200 for
It's
the whole
$200
year.
for the whole year. So if you go like once every other week, like if you get it at the beginning of the year, it's a good deal anyway. But if you get it during Black Friday or like there's like a week or like 2 week period at the end of the year. It's only $99.
And that's like during Black Friday. week?
Yeah, like that week. Like it's like a few days. Like they tell you when you can get it.
If you really break it down, all right, so $200 for the whole year. There's 4 weeks in a month, so that's, and movie tickets are $10.
Yeah.
They're 13 now.
What?
Yeah, it was 13 the other day.
I paid 10 today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It must have been
Father's Day special.
no special.
Yeah.
You can't pay more for a special.
Well, like Father's Day discount or something. Like a holiday
maybe.
or something.
Oh, maybe.
But
yeah,
anyway, so
it must have not been matinee.
even let's just say it's just like $10. Right?
Yeah, even if
If you watch one movie every week, that's 4 a month times 12. That's 360 or 36 times 10 because it's $10 per movie. That's $360. You're getting your money back.
yeah.
The only thing that would suck is if there's like no good movies or if you've seen all the movies, and then you're just like,
Well, if it's summer, it still beats the heat. You can go see a movie you haven't seen.
I
Who
see
knows?
them over and
Maybe
over
if it's
again,
good.
too.
Yeah.
I've seen the same movie 4 or 5 times
What's
in the summertime.
your favorite movie you've seen in like recently?
Recently, we've seen so many.
I'm sure you have with that Infinity Pass.
Let's see. John Wick. I really like the John Wick movie.
The 4th chapter.
Yeah.
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 I mean, the whole like stairs
Yeah.
towards the end, that was pretty.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, pretty absurd if you ask me. They really extended that whole
Yeah, they
trying to
did.
make it to the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Without breaking himself or anything like that. But Kyle, do you remember the first movie you saw with your dad?
Ever?
Ever. First movie.
I must have been little.
Yeah. I used to take him to the movies at the Carousel Mall.
Yeah.
They were $1. You know.
$1, huh?
Yeah, they were $1. And
The earliest movie I saw with my parents was that I remember was in 1999. I was 2 years old. It was Star Wars Episode 2.
Really?
Yeah, we saw Star Wars Episode 2 in theaters, and then I remember seeing number 3 in Arizona.
No kidding.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember my first drive-in movie was with my mother and aunt, and my cousins, and my brothers and sisters. We seen Pet Cemetery.
The
which-
original, the OG
The
one.
original, which scared me. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man, that was scared me.
Yeah.
And it was a double feature. I'm trying to remember. What was the other movie? Pet Cemetery. Oh, Puss in Boots. So they played the scary one first, and then they played the other one second. But I was so scared from the
Right.
first one, I was under the covers for the second one.
Yeah.
That's funny. It makes sense. You don't want to leave the drive-through all scared and with little jitters and whatnot.
I had
you
the
know.
jitters. Then my
They
brother
said, let's
was-
play the most childish movie after so everyone's okay. Puss in Boots. That's pretty
the
funny.
original.
I think the first movie I saw with my parents that I can remember at least was Troy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in the movie theaters. And
That's a good movie.
There's like a sex scene in there, and I remember my dad just looking at us like, boys. He just looking at us and me looking at him like waiting until it passes by, But it seems so long ago, It
Yeah.
seems like a different life,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Ken, looking back at your life, let's say, bringing back to like our age, does it feel like you can still remember as if it's in the same life, or does it feel like another life to you?
It changes. It depends on what mood I'm in and what day it is.
Yeah.
Some days I think about the past, the good times. My dad was very lenient with us. He said, go do whatever you want to do, just don't get caught.
Really?
He said, you go to jail, you're going to spend the night in jail.
Hey, my dad did not tell me that.
You know? My dad said, just use your head, common sense. So on weekends, he let us run crazy.
Wild, huh?
Friday night, we'd look forward to Friday night. We'd go to somebody's house, and we didn't come back until Sunday for church.
Just make it back for Sunday.
Yeah,
make it back for church.
Make it back for church, and you guys are okay.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad was really, he was a good guy. He was strict, but not as strict as anybody else. I mean, he never hit us. My mother would say, "Wait till your dad gets home," and that's all she had to say. And we were just nice after that, no problems.
Right.
And then we'd wait till my dad gets home, and I'd look at him, and he'd look, "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything, Dad." "Now I'm going to talk to your mother."
What is the most absurd disciplinary action that your dad gave you guys? And then I'll ask you after.
Let's see. There was a couple. So, but the worst thing he ever done to me was he'd make us sit on the couch, not watch TV, just sit there.
Sounds pretty good to me. You know?
Do nothing. You know, he'd threaten us, but we just hated to be still. Because back then we didn't have video games and stuff.
Right.
You
so
went
you're
outside and played.
proactive.
You're active, always doing something. So sitting still was the worst thing you can do to a kid back then. So you're sitting on the couch, you're all fidgety. My dad said, "Stop fidgeting around, just sit there." He'd be reading his paper and watching us, and we'd just sitting there. It was the worst.
You're swinging your legs on the couch and
Don't
stuff.
do that. Just sit there.
Wow. For how long?
Not long, maybe an hour.
Oh, I was going to say 20 minutes, but an hour is a
No,
pretty
an
long
hour.
time.
An hour is pretty good. When he watched the news, we had to sit there. When the news was over, we could get up.
No kidding.
He didn't send us to our room because he knew we would play.
Oh, y'all would just mess around, have a good time.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't going to happen.
That's funny.
So, and my mother was very, very nice. She was the opposite. We did something wrong. It just broke her heart, and you could see it did. You know, so we tried not to break my mother's
No,
heart.
you don't want to break mom's heart.
Yeah, and I don't want
Yeah.
to break mom's heart.
It's kind of different with your dad. And Your
Yeah.
dad, you're scared of. Your mom, you feel bad for. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
Why did you do that? She gives you that. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
So sorry, mom. I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
What about you, Kyle? What
It was the opposite for me.
What has your dad done? What did he like spank you? Did he put you in a corner?
No,
Nope.
he never. It was only my mom.
Yeah, she was a wild one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd go over there. She'd walk in the house in a bad mood. I'd be watching him, and she'd come and just scream at him.
Yeah.
And I'd feel
She
so
was,
bad.
yeah.
You know, I said, "Oh, man.
I'm sorry, son.
I'm sorry I did that to you."
You're all just like,
Yeah.
like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Kyle never gave me any grief. You
Yeah?
know,
Yeah.
never.
You didn't do your job, bro. I'm just kidding.
He did things wrong, and I knew he did things wrong, and he knew that I knew.
Yeah.
So it just, you know,
just sits like that.
don't do it again.
Right. You know, the two absurd disciplinary actions that my dad made us do. We'll go in order. So we're very young, you know, probably like 7, 8, and 9, because it's me, JC, and Timmy. And it was like my mom was watching American Idol on the couch. So that's like, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
And my dad came home. We weren't listening to my mom. She was upset, whatever. And my dad is like, he had enough. So he took us outside. It's dark, okay? Some military BS, all right? He literally got the hose. He was like, start doing push-ups, and you're going to sing your ABCs while he's taking the water hose and spraying us down. So we're outside in the dirt, just A, B, C, just crying because the water's freezing. It's cold outside, it's dark. I knew my ABCs out to like G. I was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it.
Yeah.
And
He'd be like, keep going.
yeah, no, next time once you see, So I remember I think I got to G, and my dad was like, Sammy, get up, go inside, dry off, and go hang out with your mom. And then I remember watching American Idol, and I'm just waiting for my brothers to get inside. They were just out there, just push-ups and ABCs.
Yeah.
And then they finally came in, and they were just soaked,
Yeah.
So that was a crazy moment. And it's funny because like the craziest moments are like some of your best memories. And then the other one, which is definitely not one of my best memories, we used to build ramps, like dirt jumps, like 4, 5, 6 feet high, 20 feet. 6 months every single day we were outside from sunrise to sunset, just shoveling, making, the whole backyard a bike park. Our oh man, our bowls were like 15 feet wide,
Yeah.
4 feet deep. We're everything. It was beyond us, beyond me that I can think of right now. And my dad was like, he couldn't think of another way to discipline us. So he's like, flatten the backyard. And we started crying. We were like, oh, he's like, flatten the backyard. And he felt so bad. Like, it took us a couple years for my dad to be like, no, I felt really bad that I told you guys to do that because I know how hard you guys worked on it. Because we did not,
Yeah.
we took our time with it, And he's like, flatten it. And so we're just sitting in the backyard, just tearing down our jumps, our dreams, And then we go.
I was there too.
Yeah. Did you help us flatten it?
Yeah, we were all crying. All four of us.
Dude, and the worst part was,
Yeah.
it's so funny because, like, at the end of the day, we're like, all right, Dad, like, the backyard's flat. And there's a bunch of, like, potholes and, like, ruts everywhere. He was like, no, the backyard's not flat. He's like, fill in those holes. And we're like, Dad, like, we don't have any more dirt. He's like, what do you mean you don't have any more dirt? The whole backyard's dirt. Just, level the whole background again. And it took a while, and we never built jumps after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, at least not in our backyard. We started building jumps like other locations, around the city. But yeah, those are wild,
Yeah, I grew up in the city. My backyard was cement.
Yeah.
But I was lucky. I had a mini bike when I was started when I was like 9 or 10. So, and there was a field that we used to go ride on mini bikes, and we do the same thing, make jumps on a little mini bike, maybe get like 2 feet off the ground with a 3 horsepower.
Little huppies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Scrub
pretty-
brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I worked my way up from that to a bigger mini bike, to a Kawasaki 90, to a 125, to a 250. So, and this is in the city, but there was a field, so. Right behind the electric company, there was a big field. They let us, they didn't bother us.
Did your dad teach you how to drive or what? Or ride?
No, I just learned myself.
Yeah.
He said, hey, go for it. This is the brake on the foot. This is the gas. Go.
Have fun.
Wipe out a couple of times, learn your lesson.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, it happens. My dad, he never liked it when he didn't want to see us get hurt,
Yeah.
It's funny to me because like parents, they have like that protection, that inside internal protection where like you don't want to see your kids get hurt, but at the same time like you got to let them flap their wings a little bit,
Yeah.
And my dad, like he if we came home like scratched up, bruised up, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But like he didn't want to see us crash like in person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course he would get mad if we didn't have a helmet on. But
Yeah.
when did we ever have a helmet on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rule with my dad. He says, go ride the mini bikes, motorcycles, but he said, promise you always have a helmet. So we always wore for my dad.
Yeah, we'd always like just buckle our helmets like on our backpacks. Like we just have it with us, but we don't have it on,
Yeah.
It was stupid. I don't know why we did that.
Yeah, I lost a best friend in high school. We're popping wheelies. I had a Triumph 650, and he had a Triumph. And we're popping wheelies in front of his house on New Year's Eve, fireworks going off. And he popped a wheelie, fell off the back, broke his neck. We're all laughing, And he was dead. He died right there, right in front of me. My best friend. Right in front of his parents were sitting right there. Everybody.
That's wild.
It was crazy. That quick, and it happened in an instant. 1 minute he's laughing, popping wheelie. The next minute, that was it.
Lights out, huh?
That was it. It was,
Wow.
yeah, it was bad.
That's pretty rough, man.
Like for
That got us speechless, bro. We're just like,
that's crazy.
that is crazy.
When I lived in Calamasa, we were building ramps. I lived on this cul-de-sac, and so as soon as you go in, like right when the cul-de-sac curved, well, it wasn't really a cul-de-sac. It was like a semicircle. And so I lived on one side, and on the opposite side, you go down the street. On the opposite side, we'd build ramps. We had like a couple ramps to step up, you know, some bowls. And one day a house got put on top of it.
Really?
Well, yeah. Like we were looking out, and my buddy, he knocked on my window. He's like, "Hey, I need you to get up. They're destroying our effing, stuff." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, they're destroying our ramps." I was like, "Who?" So I get up, get dressed, get outside. There's a whole bunch of construction workers, and I see them.
Just taking down your ramp.
We're all like crying, like,
man.
They're like, "We should go do something. Want me to go do something?" I was like, "No, that's like the government." I was like, "No, we should."
It's theirs now, man.
Yeah, I was like, they took it over.
That's wild. Did you tell your dad? You're like, "Dad, they're messing with our ramps."
It was, at the time I lived with my mom, and then my sister and my brother-in-law. Then my niece was there. So it was just us. And the rest of them didn't care. My mom kind of did, but like the rest of them didn't really care about it. And, we all had like a vigil. We all got like those like candles from like those like those Catholic candles.
Yeah.
We all had like a vigil for the ramps.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was like 2-3 years that we were building this stuff.
I'm surprised your mother didn't go over there and just beat him up. 'Cause that's how she was.
Would, huh?
Oh, yeah. She was, ooh.
Yeah.
You like feisty girls or what, Ken? Like, you didn't know this until after you all got married or what?
That was my drinking days.
Oh, man. You're like, I'll forget about it. It's cool.
Everything's good.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I think because me and Timmy were talking about our dad not too long ago. And I feel like parents, they kind of beat themselves up more than they need to about like, oh, I wish I was a better parent,
Yeah.
Because I know I had that conversation with my dad. My dad's the one that actually brought it up. He's like, man, I wish I did more, or I wish I did this, or I wish I didn't do this and all that. And I was like, Dad, I couldn't ask for a better, parent at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing that made me hate you or neglect you or anything like that, And he just felt like he could have done more.
Yeah.
I was like, how much more can you do? Because you don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, like,
Yeah.
hovering over your kids.
Right.
You don't want to,
I think most dads are like that. At least the ones I know, I did know some people growing up that their parents weren't good parents,
Yeah.
So they hung around my house. My parents didn't care. And that's how I was when my kids would come home from school. All of a sudden they come home with 20 kids. There'd be 20 kids in the house. I've been making a butthole of pizza. Quesadillas and those little pizza rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, whole bunch of them. Boxes and boxes of them.
Yeah.
And they do their homework, and I'd help them, and they'd play. And they knew they were safe than going home. So
For us, we would make quesadillas and scrambled eggs. Those were our two meals,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, when people would come over. Anyways, all right, you guys, it is 7:30, half hour past the hour. We're going to go on a quick 5-minute break. Thank you guys for tuning in right now. Hey, when we come back, if anyone wants to call on the show and, say Happy Father's Day to their dad, you guys can. Kyle's going to give the number out when we come back, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes, all right? You guys are listening to Whatever Works on KCAA.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in Durga, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. There's one Earth system that constantly affects our lives, yet we hardly think about it. That is, until we turn 50 and we're confronted with the evidence. I'm talking, of course, about gravity. Working against it keeps our muscles toned, and the rest of us, not so toned. But it keeps us standing upright, keeps water in our glasses and in the oceans. In fact, the Earth as we know it couldn't exist without gravity. All objects exert a gravitational pull on other objects. The strength of this pull is determined by the object's size and density. The Sun has more gravitational pull than the Earth, which holds the Earth in orbit around it. The Moon has less than the Earth, and thus orbits around us, but still has enough gravity to pull on Earth's water, causing tides. If the Earth had a smooth surface and were the same density in all places, gravity would be the same everywhere, but it's neither of these things. If you're standing next to a mountain and holding a lead weight on a string, that weight would not hang perfectly straight, but would be drawn slightly toward the mountain. Not enough for you to notice, but measurable with a sensitive instrument. Mountain ranges in general have stronger gravitational pull than, say, oceans, since rock is denser than water. It's the different densities of different places on Earth that cause Earth's gravity to vary. We'll explore the surprising things that changing gravity reveals on a future Earth Date. I'm Scott Tinker, and thank you for listening.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pouty Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Del Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is that until you stop expecting our politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Right here on KCAA, now broadcasting on 1050 AM and 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind.
Hey guys, Clyde here. Juneteenth is the holiday that commemorates the day slavery officially ended in Texas, making it the last state to do so. Sadly, this was over 2 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, declaring all slaves free within the rebellious states. In early traditions, former slaves made pilgrimages to Galveston, Texas, hosted barbecues, and had community elders tell stories. Over time, people started celebrating annual events that included singing traditional songs, historical reenactments, lectures, stories, and more. So let's commemorate this day, honor Black history, and continue to work towards equality and justice.
KCAA remembers the 250,000 Black slaves finally emancipated from slavery in Texas on Juneteenth. We proudly support equality, equity, diversity, and justice for all.
Bob Vila here with my home improvement tip of the day. Winter's on the way, and that means homeowners are once again resuming their seasonal quest to get the most heat for the least money. If you have a fireplace that's inefficient, you might want to consider installing a fireplace insert. Most inserts are considerably more efficient than the fireplaces they replace. The best way to vent an insert is into a stainless steel liner that extends through the existing flue, from the top of the stove to the top of the chimney. That setup provides the highest efficiency, plus it's easy to inspect and clean. Though you can also vent the stove insert into the existing chimney, it's a bit trickier. That's because the proportions of the existing chimney may not match up with the size of the insert. If that's the case, the chimney won't draft properly, and besides getting smoke in your eyes every time you open the stove, you'll also get a rapid buildup of flammable, acid-laden creosote in the chimney. Get more info at bobvila.com and right here at home with me, Bob Vila.
Feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
And we are back. Happy Sunday, everybody. You guys are listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I am your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And I'm Ken Kerrigan.
And we just want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. Everyone out here, putting a lot of work in, taking care of their kids, making sure we do things right and not messing each other up. So happy Father's Day to everyone out there. And if anyone likes to call in and wish their father a happy Father's Day, here's the number.
It's going to be 888-909-1050. That is 888-909-1050.
Yes. So we're going to jump right into it. Before we went on break, we're just talking shop, sharing stories about our dads and all that discipline stuff. But now we kind of want to talk about some more memorable moments, right, if I may say so. And Kyle, he actually has a couple experiences with my dad. Yeah. And some of them are pretty funny, but he wants to share one of them right now, so we'll let him speak.
So it was Timmy's birthday. We all slept on the trampoline like that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the morning, we were boxing, doing stuff like that. And then we had this airsoft fight in the afternoon. You remember that? There was like a whole bunch of Timmy's friends, your friends, JC's friends. I brought a couple people. Then Harrison, of course.
Was this at the church, or where do we?
Yeah, it was between the church. It was long. It was between the church and your house and the alleyway, too.
Oh, yeah. It was big airsoft war, yeah.
It was a big airsoft war. It was like 30 people versus 30 people. And so we were going. And me and Harrison stuck together because Harrison had a sniper rifle. I had a couple pistols. And I ran out of ammo on one of the pistols, so I was like, Harrison, can I, just cover you? He's like, yeah. So we're going, and around the corner, I see Sam's dad. He scares us. He's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're just having an airsoft battle. He's like, you guys are having an airsoft battle? Where's the rest of my kids? He's like, they're having an airsoft battle with us. You guys are fighting an airsoft battle? We're like, yeah. He's like, all right, let me teach you a couple things. He's like, always check your corners. And then he was like giving us like some military stuff. He was teaching Harrison how to look down the sight like at a certain like angle and degree, like how to use the tick marks and everything. He goes, watch here. And, he fires and he goes, okay, now I want you to do it. So he hands Harrison back the sniper. He goes, oh, okay, there's a kid coming. And a kid pops up and Harrison gets him right in the temple. He's like, good shot. He was like, oh, wait, who was that? Like, I think he shot JC. JC's like crying.
Oh man, got him headshot and he starts crying. Huh?
And yeah, and your dad's like, oh, I think that was one of my kids. I gotta go.
He's like, oh, he's like, good shot though, Harrison.
Yeah, he was like, but yeah, it was a good time.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, we used to shoot BB guns in the basement. We had a big basement in the wintertime. For fun. We had a target shot up at the other end, but it was dumb because it bounced off the wall and come shooting back at us.
Yeah, ricocheting everywhere.
One time it hit me right there, right between the eyes.
Oh, man.
Then another time, hit me in the hip, and I still have the BB in my hip to this day.
What?
Yeah.
It went through your skin?
Yeah, it went through my skin. I was afraid to tell my dad and mom.
So it healed over?
Yeah, I put a Band-Aid on it.
No kidding. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It must have been a pretty strong BB gun.
Oh, yeah.
It was like one of the metal BBs, huh?
Pump it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We our first airsoft war was inside the house. My dad, he got a bunch of little handguns for us, and we're target practicing, and then my mom and my sister went to the grocery store. So that's when my dad was like, hey kids, you want to have an airsoft war? He's like, we'll do it inside the house. Just don't tell your mom. And then just make sure you sweep up all the BBs when we're done, right? Yeah, sounds good. And they weren't high-powered weapon, or, they were just spring-loaded, maybe like 100 FPS,
Yeah.
It's not going to break skin or anything. It just kind of stings a little bit. And it was us three, so me and my brothers versus my dad.
Oh, man.
And this is my dad was doing training at the time. Like, he was all about it. And I remember one time he was on top of, I think it was Timmy. I think he was on top of Timmy, and he's just shooting him in the butt, shooting him in the leg, doing stuff. And I came right behind him, and I shot him in the back, and he started chasing me. Yeah. So I thought I was cool. I tried to do like a little like front roll over Rhiannon's bed, you know what I mean? Yeah. But he caught me like midway. He caught me in the butt a couple times, and I started running. And I'm like hiding behind the oven on one side, and he starts hiding on the other side. And my dummy counted to 3, and I tried to like pop up like CIA or like some and he shot me right in the eye. But I had time to close my eyes, so he got my eyelid, and again, no one wants to see their kid hurt, so he felt really sorry. And then that was the end of the night, and then that was when my mom came home anyway, so it was kind of like perfect timing,
Yeah.
But I mean, he taught us how to fight. I remember going in the garage, and my dad, he has the Bowflex. He's working out. He's hitting the punching bag, teaches us how to fight, teaches us how to work out, and always getting us ready.
Yeah.
He had Chuck Norris like UFC gloves.
Yeah.
It was like his favorite pair of gloves. Stole that from him.
But you have them?
No, I don't know what happened to them actually, but the belt that he used to spank us with, super sentimental to him. And he lost it not too long ago, and he was actually kind of sad. He was like, I'm really sad I lost that belt. He's like, that was the belt that I whipped you kids with. And I was like, dang, Dad. Yeah. And like, I can't even tell you how many times he spanked us. Like one time I knew we were getting spanked because he was like, all right, boys, you got 2 hours to clean your room, right?
Yeah.
No one was cleaning the room. I was cleaning the room, but no one was cleaning the room. You know what I mean? Like I was kind of like picking it up, but I was like, JC, Liam, like, yeah, bro, Dad's gonna spank us. Like, clean the room. And like my dad's outside pacing back and forth, and he can hear me telling my brothers to clean the room. That 2 hours was up, so I put on 4 pairs of boxers, like underneath my shorts, And then he called us in his room. He was like, boys, front and center. Oh man, here we go. And then he was like, I heard your brother tell you guys to help him clean the room. I mean, you're all still getting spanked, but like I only got like 3 whippings, and then everyone else got like 5 or 6. But like I put on an extra pair of underwear, those extra layers,
They help.
It did. It helped so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. Like, and then at one point my dad was like, I can't spank you guys no more.
Yeah.
You guys are too old. And we're like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
You're
like,
so we started. So he grounded us. Timmy. Like Timmy, he got grounded for a whole year.
I remember that.
Yeah, because he knocked me out on my birthday. The longest I was grounded was about like 3 to 6 months, and like, we didn't play video games or watch TV. So like, how do you ground us? You know what I mean? You just can't hang out with your friends. But I had my brothers. We shared the same room, and like we tried, like one time we were like, clean the room. All right, so we cleaned the room spotless, and then we had a whole war after that with like all our toys and stuff. And then when we finished with the war, my dad came in. He's like, I thought I told you guys to clean the room. And we're like, we did. We swear we did. We just got done playing with our toys though. Like we had a lot of toys, toy soldiers and things like that. So even after we cleaned it, it was still trash.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone's the same way, that you just like push everything like in the closet or like underneath the bed and just stuff everything. Yeah, that was us. It was a good time. And yeah, you guys have any other stories of like your parents or anything?
Well, like I was telling you before, first time I did construction, I was like 9 or 10, and we had an attic. It was a duplex. My dad turned it into a single family, but they still had all the walls except for the bottom floors. He made doorways, but in the attic there was no doorway, and I got sick and tired of going around to go play ping pong. So I took a hammer to that wall, and I busted that whole wall out. My dad come up, and it was everywhere. There was plaster everywhere, debris.
And your mom had no idea what you were doing? She just heard a bunch of banging?
She just heard a bunch of banging. She goes, you need to go upstairs and see what Ken's doing. He's been banging for hours up there. I don't know if he's working out or what's going on, but you need to go check on him. And he went to the second floor, didn't find me. and he heard banging, so he went to the attic, and then I was banging away, knocking out studs. He goes, you're going to knock the house down.
Yeah, you're lucky you didn't, you know?
He goes, I'm going to have to teach you to do this the right way. So he went down and got some lumber, and he showed me how to put headers in and all that.
He taught you how to put back up the wall. He was like, we can't have that wall down, son.
He left the doorway. He says, well, I'm not going to block it off since you already got it busted up. He says, we're just going to frame it in right.
Really?
So he had me do all the work with the cutting with the saw, hand saw, no electric saw, all hand saw,
Right.
nails,
Little
banging all
dinky
the nails.
tools and stuff.
No, he gave me a good hammer to do
Okay.
that. But I learned my lesson.
That's
And electric,
funny.
the same way. I was messing around with my plug in the bedroom one time, and I blew the fuse. He goes, wow, the fuse is blown. So he goes, and he knew it was me. He goes, Ken, come downstairs. What did you do? I stuck a fork in the socket. Why did you do that? I don't know.
I was just curious.
I was just curious. So, electricity.
Right.
He said, did you get zapped? I go, yeah. He said, did it hurt? I go, no. He said, did it? I go, no. So he says, do it again.
Really?
He made me do it again. Zap me. Ooh.
Learned your lesson, huh?
He goes, you going to do that again? I go, no.
Dang.
He says, don't mess with electricity. So,
Wow.
I was a curious kid.
Yeah, that's
One time I
genius.
flooded the whole backyard in the wintertime. It was all the backyard was all cement, and I wanted to make an ice skating rink. And we had a faucet in the back, so I turned it on. I don't know how many hours I had it on. But my mother looked outside. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm making an ice skating rink." And she says, "I'll wait till your dad gets home."
Just wait until your dad gets home.
So my dad come home. He goes, "What did you do?" He says, "I was making an ice skating rink." He says, "You can't do that." He said, "That water's expensive." He says, "You're going to freeze the pipes." He said, "How did you turn the water back on?" I said, "Well, I seen you shut it off in the basement." So I got up on the ladder and I turned
No
it back
kidding.
on. Yeah, there was like 4 inches of ice.
So did you make an ice skating rink?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, what is he going to do? Tell me chip it up?
Yeah, huh.
So it just stayed there until it melted. So I went out there and ice skated.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, hockey.
That's pretty cool. See, my dad, he liked to participate in our activities.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, airsofting was one of them. He loved doing that.
Yeah.
I hated it. He'd be like, we get a new gun. He's like, let me check it out. And then he would be like, 5, 4, and like, you better start running, you know? And I'm like, Dad, no, you know? And he's like, he was a little teaser. He's kind of like, Timmy got a lot of stuff from my dad.
He did.
Yeah,
He
as far
did.
as like his character and everything and his temper. My dad has a very short temper.
Timmy, when he gets mad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. But, you know, I always admired my dad. And then, you know, us boxing and stuff. I remember JC, he knocked the air out of my dad one time because they were boxing, right? And they're in the living room. And JC was known to have like a hard head, like physically a hard head. So they were boxing, and JC just said, screw it, and just headbutted my dad in the solar plex. Because, like, when you're boxing, you're paying attention to the hands, you know what I'm saying? So my dad was, like, watching his hands, and he's bobbing, weaving, and then JC just, with his forehead, just got him in the solar plex, knocked him down, you know? Yeah. And then, you know, we were never able to, you know, beat our dad in wrestling or grappling or arm wrestling or boxing or anything like that. But there's this one time, though, he was like, all right, son, I'm going to let you put me in any lock you want, and you got to try to tap me out. I was like, okay. I wasn't going to do no rear naked choke. I got him in a heel lock.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, honestly, I never, as a kid, that's just, like, instinct. You know, you try to just, like, hang on to that foot and try to do it. So I was like, all right. So I got him in a heel lock, and he's wearing boots at the time. And I remember when he was like, all right, ready, son? I was like, yeah. So we started rolling, and I'm trying to break his heel, and he took his other foot, like the boot, like the heel of his boot, and he started just driving into my thigh. And I but I wanted to have him tap so bad. So I turned him over, and I arched up, and I got him, and I had him tap, and I felt so proud of myself. I was like, yeah, let's go. And then after that, he was like, oh, you think you're tough, huh, son? I was like, well, kind of, you know. Like, it was such a good time. I miss my dad. And like you guys know this, the longest conversation I had with my dad over the phone was 9 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it was. He was working graveyard, and I called him, and I just talked to him like through his whole shift.
Yeah.
And it was like by the end of it, it was like 9 hours and something minutes, and it was like 7:30 in the morning for me. I was like in my car because like I didn't want to be in the house when people were sleeping and like talking over the phone. So I was just in my car for like at least 7 hours of the time, and I was getting so tired. And like, but him and I, we didn't have a moment of silence.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like us just talking it up. You know, just. I don't even know what we talk about for 9 hours. Like, what do you talk about?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you definitely talk about like your love life. You know, you talk about religion, your passion, like things that just like pop up, like stories, your dreams. You know, like there's a lot of topics to talk about, especially with someone.
Is he ever gonna come out, or are you gonna go out there and see him?
I definitely want to go out there to see him, just because like my grandparents, they live out there as well.
Yeah.
Everything. So it would be nice to go out there, but. My dad, he loves California. You know, one of his favorite things he likes to do with us is just drive around Oak Glen.
Yeah.
You know, play his favorite tunes, have the windows down, and just drive through that road.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's very nostalgic for
is.
like the whole family. You know, so we did that when we were little kids, and then the last time he came to visit was a couple years ago, and this time I was the one driving, and we went up around Oak Glen. You know, and he was the one sitting beside me that time. So
that's cool.
It's very very nostalgic for us.
Yeah.
You know, and you always got to play like your favorite tune. You know, your favorite song going up that road.
Yeah.
And you just windows down. You know, it's great. But hopefully he'll come out. If not, I got to go out there.
Yeah.
I got to close some deals on some houses, and I'll make sure I go out there.
Yeah, my dad worked a lot, so a couple of times a year we'd go out. We'd go to the beach. We'd go to Benson Wild Animal Farm. But my favorite place was called Cobbett's Pond. It was a little lake, a little pond really. And he'd get the bike. He'd open the car up, get everything. He said, "Okay, kids, go down to the water." And his thing was getting the barbecue set up. That was his thing. Get it all nice and set up. So, and we knew when to come back. I don't know. We never had watchers, but we knew.
Yeah.
It was time to eat.
Just telepathic. You smell the food. He's all right. Food's done.
And as soon as we'd come up, he goes, "Oh yeah, it's ready." Yeah, those were good times. And one time I was with my Uncle Emo, and his car was a piece of junk. It had no floor in the back. So I'm sitting in the back seat, no seatbelts.
With your feet up.
Yeah, he said, "Keep your feet up."
And no seatbelt? Oh,
no
God.
seatbelts. And what he would do, he'd go through the puddles, and the water would just come up and just drench you with this nasty old muddy water.
I'll take them to school.
No. Well, he said, "I'd take them home from the lake. You know, we'd all meet at the lake." He said, "Okay, I'll drive your kids home." And that one time he did, and after that I go, "No, I'm not going with Uncle Emo no more."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Not until he gets a new car.
No, he never got a new car.
No.
Him and my two other uncles, they owned a scrap metal yard. You know, almost like not cars. They didn't do cars, but they did scrap metal.
Right.
You know?
I would have took some of that scrap and just, did some work on his car.
Something. I did that to my dad's car.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, you guys. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Yeah. I think, how much time we got, Joe? It's pretty much it, huh? About 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we take off?
No, just a bit of a shout out to all the fathers out there. It was a privilege with my kids. I'm glad I became a parent young. I was 18. I had my first kid, Kenny Jr., then Bobby. And then I married my second wife, then Kyle. And then she had a son, Damon, and Davina, which I raised them since they were real small. So I had nothing but good times with those kids.
I think people need to appreciate Father's Day a little more because I don't know the exact rankings, but on the holiday rankings, like Mother's Day is like number 2, right?
Yeah.
Father's Day is like
7.
No, I think it's like double digits, bro.
What?
Like 14 or like 12th or something. Like there's holidays that come up before Father's Day that don't even that I'd never even heard of.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to appreciate your parents, your mother and your father.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
My mom was a supporter. My dad, he was our teacher.
Yeah.
He taught us a lot about life.
Yeah, that's how my parents.
All right, you guys. Happy Father's Day. Stay tuned for Ferran show coming up next, and then next week we got Rico Rax coming in.
Rico Rax.
He got some new releases. Can't wait to hear him out. So stay tuned, guys. Stay blessed, and happy Sunday.
Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand, but hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're round it.
106.5 FM and KCAA 1050 AM.